Well, speaking of the force being with us, cold and flu season is here, and the FDA just made a major announcement on a popular cold medicine that you just might have at your house.
Yeah, the FDA now plans to remove the drug ingredient Phenylephrine from store shelves, and it's going to happen very soon. They say this decongestant, it does nothing. It's ineffective.
And that's interesting because this could impact common medications like Advil, Sudafed, Robitussin, NyQuil, and Tylenol.
So joining us to discuss this more is primary care doctor and board-certified internist David Shaker. Dr. Shaker, thank you for being with us this morning. You know, this ingredient is this ingredient's not being pulled over related deaths or even dangerous effects like we typically hear. It's being pulled just for being ineffective, correct?
That's what they're saying, yeah. And if you look at the research, there's been studies going on for about the past year or so. There was an independent board that studied it. The FDA is reviewing the information. At the end of the day, this is in Sudafed, it's in Vicks, it's in Dayquil, it's in Mucinex. It's one of the most commonly used decongestants. At the end of the day, though, we're only talking about oral phenylephrine. We're not talking about the intranasal formulation of it. That they still think is effective.
Well, it's interesting, you know, this phenylephrine, it's been debated for years for being ineffective. I mean, look, when we look at ingredient lists on a lot of stuff, we sort of wonder, well, is this really needed? And why is that really in there? So it makes me question as a journalist, okay, well, why are you pulling it? Because maybe there's something to it that might not be good for us. I mean, have they found that?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I lost the audio. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Yes. No, we were just wondering if they're choosing to pull the ingredient, is there something about it that maybe isn't safe?
No, it's actually quite the contrary. The issue with it is that a lot of people like to use it. It's very accessible. It's over the counter. But the unfortunate component of it is that they're worried that patients are spending time, they're spending money, and it's not really making a marginal effect. They think because of the way you're absorbing the oral medication, it goes through the small intestine and then it gets metabolized in the liver. By the time it gets into the bloodstream and into the nasal cavity, it's not very effective. And so the FDA is reviewing it and saying, why should our patients be taking it, spending, again, time, money, without any significant benefit? And in fairness, I can count on my hands the number of times I've had a patient who has generally benefited from the medication over the course of a day or two. Usually it's the time component that patients are improving from more than anything else.
Yeah. Well, with all that being said, I know people at home are wondering, because we're wondering the same thing, what do you do now if you need a decongestant and one that works? I know you said time, but is there anything else we can do?
So look, that conversation starts a little bit further on back. I'm always encouraging patients more than anything else to have a primary care physician, right? You should know your primary care physician and they should know you. This should be a question you should be turfing to them and let them decide, do you actually need something or will time be the most effective strategy? On the second component, how is your sleep? Are you eating well? Are you getting enough sunlight? Are you getting outside? Are those things boosting your immune system enough to prevent these common season-to-season type actions? Lastly, if you do need something, then there are plenty of over-the-counter medications that are antihistamine, acetaminophen relation, sometimes just a simple nasal saline irrigation like a neti pot. Those things work. And if you need more, then your doctor can give you something more aggressive like a steroid or antibiotic.
All right. Very helpful. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it. Doctor's in, apparently.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.